Okay, y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? This is name pending.
This is name pending.
I'm
Mike.
I'm Mike Culberson. This is this is Celt.
I'm a penis.
I'm Keeper. We have one of our buddies here.
Spade.
So, got a couple of us here.
I'm actually Celt, not penis.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, not weird.
We got two army guys on here, though.
Woo!
Represent.
Huh?
Fuck the army.
So, no, you gotta respect your mother. No.
I mean, technically, the Navy came first.
The
so
did come first.
I have to respect my mother's.
Is that CO?
how many mothers do you have?
Army Air Corps. We started Army Air Corps.
Well, you did. You did.
So give him
And
respect.
realistically, you should still be Army Air Corps
We
because
should have
maybe you
stayed there.
shouldn't be fucked up now.
Oh, you're right. So many, but they're talking about bringing back warrants. We can
Okay,
talk about
we'll
that.
talk about that later.
But let's get into book talk. What have you read this week?
So, I
Where
have...
are we at? Because
I
I'm
have-
still going through Forging Hephaestus.
So,
because I'm slow.
So
Is
I
that what
am...
I'm listening to? Is the 4-book series?
No, that's superpowered.
That's
Okay, I'm
superpowers.
still listening to that.
What'd you think?
It's interesting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's I was listening to it in the car, and I think I actually just need more. I need more of a quiet place where I'm not distracted by driving to actually pay attention to the details.
You know they make
'Cause every,
for the
like,
bikes.
Every 5 minutes, I'm like, what just happened?
No, there's a couple points in the book where if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
Mm-hmm. Because there's some cuts, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Or it'll be talking about one person and then just jump to the next. And a lot of these books do that, but there's for a reason. It's like, oh, what are they gonna do? And there's like, hold on, can we go back to that story arc real quick? I'm not okay. Whatever. I'm in this one
I
now.
didn't finish it yet. Yeah.
So I'm currently reading again, going back to a book series I haven't
Recycling.
gone to. Yeah, recycling, because I have
The
to,
good
because
ones.
I go through so many. And it's called the Rhaenyra Chronicles. The first volume, which the first volume is a 3-book, is a theft of swords, right? And the premise is you're thinking like, old-timey, like, medieval era, like, knights and swords and everything, but there's, like, magic is in this world, but it's not, like, widespread magic, right? So, elves are a thing, dwarves are a thing, all these things are things, but they're not common, right? Like, You're not just gonna walk down the street, well, I mean, except for, like, the street elves, which, that's because once upon a time the elves were slaves kind of deal. But it follows the story of a pair of thieves.
Okay.
One of which was once a assassin, and the other one is some kind of master swordsman, which you find in the first book.
Master of the sword.
He's like master of most weapons.
I mean, I'm a master of my own sword.
Let's
You're
be
not a
serious here.
firefighter,
You're not even a
hose
master
wrangler.
of that, okay? We know this.
Hey, you know what? Millimeter Peter over here. Works great.
Hey. My initials are MP, bro. You don't think I heard that most of my elementary childhood?
Then I guess mine's just the dick.
But yeah, no, the Rhaenyra Chronicles,
You haven't even
it's...
seen mine.
Are you going to pull it out?
No, that's a different
gonna do
story.
this?
Don't worry. Your dad and I have seen the mushroom. It's okay.
What are you talking about? Everyone in the club's seen mine at this point. I walk around
Oh,
naked
yeah.
all
I
the
haven't.
time.
I
Even
still
my
haven't.
family.
I
Even
still
my
haven't.
family. My family.
It used
I'm
to
sorry.
Be a requirement
I know
to
we're
ask
getting
to
way
see it,
off
but
topic
it's
here
not.
for a second.
This is
And
hella
even
off
my
topic.
personal family has seen his business.
He was just like, we're up
No.
at his ranch, and he's just like, so that's what type of club you
It's
got.
that kind of camping
My
trip, right?
favorite one was when I'm walking up to the fire one time and I'm wearing my kilt and Keeper goes, woo, it throws my kilt up, and who was there with us?
There was a couple other guys.
A couple other guys are like, so that's just a thing. And he's like, yeah, I just wanted to see if he was wearing it properly.
I never wear my kilt properly. I always wear at least a Speedo.
Mine's
The only-
long enough to wear it
The
properly.
only time I will not wear it properly
Kids.
is if they're kids. I will never wear...
But the older you get, the longer your kilt's got to get. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, I mean,
I'm
I
just saying.
I
Only
dip
for the
into...
ball
Only for
I'm
the
just
ball
saying,
sack.
I-
Only for the ball sack.
I just had this
100%.
Because the
conversation
penis
with...
doesn't grow.
I just had this conversation with one of my friends yesterday where I was explaining to her the vagaries of testicles. and like the concept of sitting on your testicle, the concept of it being dipped into the public toilet.
Oh, I can honestly say I'm the oldest one sitting here, and those are facts.
Yes, these are it blew her mind.
You
It
notice
literally
underwear
blew her
just gets
mind.
tighter and tighter the older you get.
So what book were you reading?
It's because I get fatter and fatter. That's what it is.
I forgot to say the author name.
Yes.
Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan.
Okay.
All right, so the
I've
book
heard that
series
name
is
before.
about
It's
a master of weapons, but he's a
Yeah, I
swordsman
mean-
and then an assassin.
and they're a partnership and they're thieves,
And
right?
it has this. There's a letter here. It's kind of like a culture of multiple different races of dwarves, elves.
Well, not really. It's mostly in the human realm, right?
Okay, but they are there.
They're
just
there.
not prominent.
And as you go through the series, they become more and more prominent. You see more of it. You see magic more often and stuff like that. But when you're starting, it's straight up medieval times.
Okay.
Fucking people dumping fucking
Shit
They're
in the streets.
just shit in the streets, and it's like you think of the like most decrepit dark ages that you can think of, and that's what we're talking about right now.
The Black Plague time frame.
Yeah, but these are like, when I say that they are like thieves, it's like they aren't part of a guild, which obviously is a
Right.
big deal, right? Because it's like they're operating in cities where guilds exist, and it's like, no, they're not part of the guild, but they still operate as thieves in this city.
That's good. I mean, at least they have some type of communication.
Everybody needs to do somebody else's dirty work.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah.
And they do big time theft, right? So we're talking like working for nobles. So,
Right.
you know, one of their jobs
Okay.
netted them like 15 gold talents, which
Okay. Yeah.
that's money.
That's like, was it today's time? That's like $1 million and change. That's
like
a lot of
significant money. And the side characters are very fascinating, and it just gets really interesting. Pearl, what are you eating?
a bug. A bug landed there. She
A
ate it.
ball.
Is she eating the ball?
I mean, she can. That's fine too.
No, I don't need her to be trying to pass that shit.
Oh yeah.
I
she's
mean,
getting
that
a
one
lot of
is
plastic in her
biodegradable too,
intestines.
though.
She's straight up. She is straight up. I don't know if the camera can see this. Eating this ball.
Hey, why don't you put it right here in front of this camera?
He was in front of this angle.
Yeah, we could see it. It was the Wido lens.
I don't know how close it would do.
I wonder. I'm curious when this comes out. I want to see so I can actually see if the wider lens is actually supposed to make you look skinnier.
It will
doesn't.
not in your case.
It adds
Nothing
to-
can
every
literally
camera-
make you skinnier.
It's okay. When we
Every
redo the
camera
camera,
adds 10
the
pounds.
lenses I have over there, and you can see what you look like on a 120-inch screen.
Wow.
Hey, let me tell you something. Every camera, no matter what the lens, always adds 10 pounds. Always.
So
That's
in
like
my
50.
in my case, I am now 300 pounds.
Suck it up.
Wait, you weren't
I
300?
mean, suck it in.
No, no. I
You're
am pretty
290.
proud to say I am 6 foot and 155 pounds. I just
You
wear
lying
it.
You
sack of
lying
shit.
sack of shit.
I will stand on a scale now.
I
That's
want
it.
to see
It'll
this.
say,
I wear it all right
Get
here.
off, you dumpster.
I wear it all right
Because
here.
Hold on.
I'm fucking 200 pounds,
Here's the
bro.
question: how much zeroed is it? Did you put like 100 pounds on there? To
No,
help
this
you?
was it. This has been 3 doctor's offices that I've had to go to recently. I weigh 255.
Oh, you're only 20 pounds more than me.
He said
Hey,
150. a
Yeah, he
second
did.
ago.
He said
Oh.
155.
I haven't been 150 since I was in junior high.
old age.
Yeah,
Is your memory going
255.
with your weight
6
too?
foot, 255. Sorry,
Holy shit.
Yeah. 255.
Yeah, now you know why we didn't believe you.
Yeah, I get it now. I'm like, I'm big, but I'm not that damn big.
I forgot a number somewhere.
Holy hell.
Just 100.
That's only
Yeah,
100
that's
off.
what
I mean, good thing I'm not an accountant.
So you
We're
were saying
good.
that you. How far in superpowers have you gotten?
About 25 minutes.
Okay. So
You've passed them finding the people.
yeah. Honestly,
I don't even remember them finding anything.
Oh wow. I think you need to
One of
start
the
over.
first ones
I
that
do
come,
need to start it over.
you hear about this dude who has like super powers in the way where he's super explosive or lives in the woods.
I don't even remember. I have to reread it or re-listen to it.
So
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. The last thing I read was subtitles on a movie I had to watch the other day.
Hey, you know what? You got to start something.
You know,
You know?
we're so proud that you could do that.
Dude,
You're old Army too.
so am I. So am I. I can, but I have
You
to
got
have a
that
big enough
14
screen.
on your ASVAB.
I have to
You
have a
feel like-
big.
It was a
I mean,
12.
he's in the army for a reason.
Damn.
That was your older brother.
He's
I know.
on me for a reason.
I know.
He wasn't much better. 42.
Man,
You mean-
driving that truck, huh?
I was at 11 bang bang, just like every other idiot. We're good.
Oh shit!
Here, jump out of this perfectly good airplane.
Sure, why not?
Whoa!
Oh man, why have I lost an inch?
Count to 3 and pull.
Yeah. Why do my knee? Why when I'm almost 50, my
Hell,
knees are shot, my
You
back
jump
is
out of a
shot.
cargo plane now, and the zip line pulls your parachute for you.
It pulls the rip.
It pulls the rip.
It pulls the
Oh,
rip.
okay.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You still have a 3-second to 5-second delay.
Yeah.
Because I've jumped out of those.
If
It
you're
pulls your
lucky.
it pulls your.
So-
If you're lucky.
Otherwise,
If
you're
not,
free falling.
I got a reserve by my side.
So San Marcos actually has
Yeah, they have jump school there.
they have jump there. So I can actually go because I've got my master's jump. I can actually go and jump there without having to be bellied
yeah,
up.
but
with-
you'd be dumb as fuck to go and jump out of a plane now with your bad knees and your bad.
I know,
back.
and I
But
tell
it's
you what,
so thrilling.
my mind's telling me no.
My
But my
body-
body-
body's telling me yes.
Telling me yes.
I want to
Hey,
jump again so bad.
That's gonna
It's
be a
unreal.
podcast. We're gonna hook up some mics to some GoPros and
Jump
sit
out
360s
of
and go
the
jump out of a fucking plane.
You're
And for
gonna
the
see me come
duration
with
of
my
us in the
knee
air,
braces
we
I'm
will
supposed
talk.
to be wearing.
You're gonna see me
Oh,
wait
I'll
on
have
I'll
both
have
my
the
knee braces.
the
Both
metal
my knee
ones
braces on. I'll have my little big
back
heavy,
brace. Yep.
big heavy plastic back brace with the strap down.
And we're gonna go, are you wearing armor? No, this is just so the VA doesn't fuck
It's
me
the
over.
VA girdle. It's okay. It's the VA girdle.
Because God forbid we
You know-
go back for a year checkup. It was like, well, how did this happen? It was like, well,
You
I
know,
fell
time.
out of a plane.
fell out. I was
No,
just
don't
up
even-
in
you
the
don't even say
plane.
that. You just say time. I'm getting older.
It's weird how that happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ignore the video evidence.
Hold on, we gotta cut all that out.
No, we'll leave it in. Screw it. Whatever. I don't care.
Cut the ground to the ground as they're fucking rolling. My back. Oh, my back.
Oh yeah.
I raked yesterday. I raked.
And you're
Oh, I
feeling
thought
it.
you
I have probably 200 square foot in the front
Not
yard.
Navy.
It took me 4 hours to rake the leaves and the acorns up.
Hey, bro.
No, I got a leaf
Have you
blower.
ever
If
heard of
has
it?
a blower,
Yeah.
it's
Have you
dead
ever heard of a
weight.
leaf blower? It works marvelous.
So
I've got
I
a
was-
leaf blower. It just, like that one girl you knew
Come
back
get
in high
mine.
school.
You can borrow mine.
Just doesn't blow well enough.
Come get mine. You can borrow mine.
So
It'll blow.
I'm sitting there like babying myself all day because when I start getting lower back pain, I start getting the groin pain at the same time.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like it's so like I get home, I turn on the heating pad, I lay on the couch, the dog's crawling on top of me, and I'm like,
Shoot.
and I pass out.
I leave my building and I was like, and car heated seats, AC at 70. I get in my car and I just melt in my seat.
Oh, yeah.
And
Bro.
I'm just like, home, drive me.
So Indian came out with a AC and heated seat,
Okay,
and you can buy
Kawasaki.
the heated grips. Right, the heated grips are already out for a while.
I'm not getting AC on an open air bike.
That's just, no.
When it's 120
No.
degrees
No.
in Texas.
Because you're going too slow.
I don't even ride
Yeah,
a
'cause
bike,
you're
and I'm
going too
telling you
slow.
no.
Because you're going too slow.
What about red lights? You can't.
Then stay on
Red
the
lights
highway.
are
legally.
red
you
lights are
can't.
what? 20 seconds max? 30 seconds max?
More than
I'll
that,
give him
some-
Listen,
credit because
Celt.
he lives where all the red lights back up super far.
That's
I'll
true.
Oh,
give
that
him
is true.
I'll give him that.
I hate.
But that's
San Pedro.
because he wants to live in the city his whole life.
Kel,
Nope,
Dad,
I
in that
don't.
yellow light, that yellow light tells me I need to go faster
Faster.
to not sit at the red light.
you know,
My car will even go, hold on, there's a light coming up and it's yellow. The fuck we
all
are.
I know is that for a lot of people who talk about moving out to the country, I was the first one to move out there.
Hey, I haven't talked about moving out to the country.
So there's a
until I have
difference.
my wife's
So
approval.
I grew up and raised in the area you're at.
I moved to suburbia.
I got out of there because if I farted at Walmart, people on the other side of town knew before I even got home.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, maybe you should clean out that colon. Then they
Oh,
won't
trust
smell
me, it's
it.
clean.
So it's weird. It's very weird because the country isn't just in Bandera, Texas. It's very weird how that works, though.
Dude,
I thought it was
trust me.
only-
So last weekend I rode the bike all the way to Junction. I stopped at, what we still call, and it may sound politically incorrect to say nowadays, but I stopped at the big house. I stopped at the big house at the ranch, Dad drove down the ranch road, picked me up, and we went to the cabin.
Heck yeah.
Oh, you talking about the
But-
plantation?
I'm outside. I walk
Big house.
outside 9, 10
it a
o'clock
White
at
House?
night to go pee. Walk outside. I can see every star in the sky,
Yeah.
and I'd hear nothing but the goats. So
I
way over there.
still want to go out there and at
When
least
are-
see
when
the
are we
place
camping out
sometime.
there
Yeah.
again? I
Yeah.
mean, now that you're free and clear, when are we going out there again?
Camp
Soon.
cast at his.
Actually, I am fixing to have a Hardy party.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Let's
So-
pretend.
You know what the Hardy siding, the concrete siding?
Yeah.
I
Party
need
board. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hardy board. I need to take. When we built the cabin, it was an A-frame.
Yeah.
Just a shed, right, with the Airstream trailer under it. We pulled it out, closed it in with plywood. Well, the plywood,
Now it's draft.
yeah, it's getting drafty.
Yeah.
I found coon shit inside, and it pissed me off.
Oh yeah.
no,
So-
Yeah.
So
it's like
to
spend
make it
all
last
night
longer,
there.
I'm just gonna put Hardy on the side, the concrete
My
board.
man.
So I'm here
So
in a
your
couple
well
weeks.
house.
Here in a couple weeks, we're going up there to do that. I've got the well. I got power.
No, he's making fun of me because I had my well freeze
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago,
There's
and
a video up.
there's actually a bit on our other channel, our workshop channel.
Did it
Yeah.
freeze or did you drain it? I thought you drained it.
So let me finish.
Okay.
So I went out and
After
I
that-
drained my well completely in preparation for the freeze because I knew I didn't have a well house. I had no way to. But when I drained it, I didn't cut off the main valve to the house,
Yeah.
and so it pulled the water from
From
the house,
out.
and so it broke every single line of PVC on this
video
thing.
starts is like, so I'm gonna work on my well.
No. The video starts and it's like, is that good? I think that's good. Because I'm doing all the repairs myself, right?
Yeah.
What had happened was
What happened?
Just
was-
one time.
Oh,
it
that's
banked
when
out.
you know
Go
Orion
ahead.
is getting ready to come out.
that there was some seepage around one of the joints, and I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Seepage.
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna check to see if there's seepage around
Which is
anywhere
never
else.
really good.
Right?
Seepage.
Is it damp?
And about the time I'm checking the other side of the well, it explodes in a geyser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's great.
I would
That's
say that's
awesome.
a little bit more
Yeah.
than
No,
moist.
no.
Hey,
This
hey,
is all going
I
on.
would rather it explode as a geyser to tell you, hey, here's where your leak is,
Yep.
instead of you walking over
Finding
there
it.
trying to
randomly.
find where
Yep.
it's spraying into the dirt,
Oh,
No.
yeah.
trying to find that mess.
The craziest
I
part
wish you'd
is
call me.
during
I'd
this
come
whole
over and
thing,
help you. I
I'm
have
up
a
in
bunch of
Tennessee
phones
dealing
and
with
stuff.
my
Oh,
flight. Freeze came in and
Yeah.
we were stuck up there snowing. He was like, "Can I come to your house and shower?" I was like, "Sure." I mean, I have
Yeah.
no problem with it. Kelt was watching the house. I think you
He had just left.
I
Yeah,
had just left.
because I was coming back that day. So he showers, and then a couple other times he's come over and showered. I'm so glad we're getting that shower redone,
Pearl,
just
Stop
because it'll
bruising
be nicer and bigger for people of normal size.
I feel like a giant in the shower.
Like seriously, this is where the shower head feels like it's at, and
Yeah.
you're just like, and thank God they have detachable shower heads, so you can. But even then, you're just like, or you have to be like this. It's like, come on, this sucks.
Yeah, no.
Like the new one we're gonna put in the master, 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought you were getting a roof.
No, we're
The
getting a
roof spout.
raindrop from the top.
Have you already bought it?
No,
What color?
black.
I have a whole new kit for you.
Well, sure, bring it over.
The manifold, all that for you. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Not gonna break my heart, man.
Hey, watch her ear right here because, her balance and everything has been off. And so she tried to jump on the bed last night and she smacked into the bed and the tip of her ear started bleeding all over God's creation.
So I want to
You know-
touch on something before intermission. The Helldivers game. It's been a
Yeah.
little bit since we talked about
You didn't
Helldivers.
even really talk about your book.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we
I
did.
covered everything I needed to cover for it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we made
Thank
sure
you,
we
though.
touched back on it, and yes, definitely props. But Helldivers has broke Steam
Multiple times.
in multiple times. They've done 12 hot patches, fixes. This game was only because the first game, the most amount of players they ever had was 50,000. So they had it times 3. They had 150,000 prepared
Yes.
because it's a
On
third-person
release.
shooter.
Right.
Sony pushed it out. Rare Game was like, "Oh, we love these." Naughty Dog was like, "This is awesome. You guys did it right." Risk of Rain, even their
Mhm.
publishing company, was like, look, we were the first ones to do top down, bring it third person. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But Helldivers is now up to, I think, 210,000 people on the game at the highest number. The lowest number to date has been like 198, 200,000 consistently.
And I will tell you, I love the community because I only had my first negative interaction with like people co-oping with me on this game just the other day.
The CEO came out in an interview yesterday. He was like, "We will never have PvP in the game because it's too toxic, and
Right.
everyone that's coming in, if we find out you're team killing intentionally for whatever,
And that was the thing, is like I am at the end of and don't get me wrong, sometimes when you're playing you accidentally kill one of your teammates. I
and those are
apologize.
incidentals."
I said, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, whatever." But like I'm boarding the ramp to exit the mission and they dropped a bomb on me and they're like, "Haha, I got him."
And even if you do, like, if you kill too many people too often, you'll get a flag, or people will start, did they do this
What?
intentionally?
Right.
No, this needs to...
You're
This
supposed
needs to
be
happen.
Killing people, right?
No.
No,
You're
it's
killing
co-op.
bugs, Terminators, and soon to be Illuminate, and then possibly a fourth one.
I thought this was like a shooter game.
It is a shooter.
It is a
killing
shooter
people.
game,
It is
but
a
it's
shooter game.
you
But you're
versus
Super
the
Earth,
environment.
and we're spreading democracy.
Yeah.
Now we
For
have the
democracy.
haters saying we're fascist, and they're lying. They're lying. They don't know.
Who's saying you're fascist? Chinese?
So the people that are actually watching this understand what I'm talking about. So there's democracy. Then there's the haters who don't think we're spreading democracy, and they're saying we're fascist.
Yeah.
They're wrong. We're
For
only spreading
democracy.
democracy. Everything's for democracy. But they broke records. It was the #1 game for a couple days
Mm-hmm.
on Steam. Broke records. All these different studios, to the point that this is the first game in a year that after release they're like, we need more developers. Like, we're hiring more developers.
Right.
So I mean, they've broken
Pearl,
records.
What
Go lay down.
platform is this game on?
It's on Steam and PlayStation.
Okay, well, come here.
Okay. So
Because
Come here.
their first one was a top-down game. Four
Come here.
people shared one
Come on.
screen.
So I've been saving up. My PS4, the HDMI port broke. I got a new HDMI port, but with my old age, I don't have a big enough magnifying glass to be able to solder that back on. It is what it is.
They'll bring it over here.
I know.
My eyes
So
are still decent.
I've been looking at the Xbox. You know, they just came out and said Xbox
I'll
is
raise you one.
they're fixing to start doing
Yeah,
that.
we'll raise
I
you
will
one.
raise you one. Look up Steam Deck.
Okay.
It is Sega Genesis. You know what that was?
Right.
It was about this big,
Yeah,
had
yeah,
a giant screen, and all the fucking AA batteries or double D batteries. And
Yeah.
this is a Steam Deck. You can play any computer game on Steam on this handheld device, and still connect it to your TV, and use any
Whatever
Bluetooth-
controller.
any Bluetooth controller.
So PS5 controllers, Xbox controllers,
Right.
Anything
Nintendo
Bluetooth,
controllers. Yeah.
including back to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 wireless.
Okay.
So anything Bluetooth can connect to your Steam Deck, and you can play any game on Steam. And some controls you'll have to modify per game,
Right.
and just what's more comfortable for you.
Right.
But that's where I've been playing Helldivers on it. I've been playing.
So I have not been on a console in probably 5 years.
I will continue to recommend Steam Deck only because buy the cheapest 64 gigabyte and throw a terabyte in there.
Yeah, and
like-
yeah.
if your shaky old man hands can't do it, we can do it for you.
200.
No, I still.
Well, it's not even. It's literally you pull out the hard drive. and then
Again,
you
if
plug
your
in the
shaky
new
old
one.
man hands can't do it, we can do it for you.
I can do it.
No,
And
it's not shaky.
I still
old
have a
man
bachelor's
hands.
degree in
It's shaky
computer
left hand,
electronics.
bro.
$300.
bro.
I'm
Yeah.
calling.
buys you
I'm
this
gonna call it how I
$150
know it.
buys you the terabyte. In any game on Steam, someone
I do have to say,
freaking
I
went
have
crazy
mad
on
props and
Skyrim.
pride in my brother.
and he has
Right.
like all these different controls because you have two touchpads that change directions. You
Yeah.
can do wheels. And
So,
they've gone crazy.
so
and Steam Deck's about
y'all know
to
who I'm
release.
talking about when I say our Alaskan friend
Yeah.
Yes,
that's up there now.
you can say his name.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
Alaskan friend.
Yeah. So our Alaskan friend gave me his laptop.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was the Acer.
Yeah, because we traded.
It was.
We
it
traded
was.
laptops when he was
It's,
working
it's a
overseas.
gaming one.
Yeah.
Right. Badass. So he's like,
Actually, that was the laptop I gave him a while ago.
yeah. Was it? Okay.
It's a good. I know exactly which one you're talking
So
about.
what I did is it only had 8 gigabytes of RAM in it.
Yeah.
So I'm running 32 gigabytes of RAM in it now. I'm running 2 terabyte SD hard drives in it
Yep.
now. That is my DJ laptop.
Nice.
I can run my DJ program, which I run Serato, and then I run Sound Switch for my lighting off the same laptop, and have no lag, no delay, no issues.
See, I knew that there was, because with Helldivers there was issues with the AMD drivers in Helldivers, and I knew it wasn't my setup because I got 12 cores, I've got 64 gigs of RAM, I've got a fucking, I think a 7600 GPU. There is no reason that I should be having fucking graphical issues.
If you're getting back into gaming, and he's even talking to his dad about, get a Steam Deck. I don't care if you're playing the smallest freaking game.
Yeah.
A Steam Deck, because I have it docked into my bedroom TV.
Well, and we can play co-op together on some of these games.
We could, yeah.
And we can even throw it on the TV and grab 4 wireless controllers and all play the same game on the same screen.
Right.
And this is bringing it back to the old days of co-op, where you did LAN co-op together and everything.
I still need to get
you played N64 together.
I still need to get Screen Cheat for Steam.
We're getting back to Farmtown, man.
They have that on Steam.
Come on, man.
I need to get Screen Cheat.
We're showing age, man. That was like one of the first Facebook games was Farmtown.
Yeah, my dad played it until...
Was it Facebook or was it actually...
It was MySpace.
It was MySpace. My dad
Farmtown.
played that in Farmville until I introduced him to Stardew Valley. And when I introduced him to Stardew Valley, Ash Daddy fell in love with that game.
Yeah.
And fucking just like millions of gold and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, we've got to break for intermission.
Intermission, potty breaks, back stretches,
Back stretches.
screaming, bitching.
Hey,
crapping, moaning.
we're not getting your cushions in until later this week.
He has a cushion. That's all that matters.
And what about me? My ass needs love.
Wow.
Here you go. Right here.
In true army form.
Right here, Poppy.
Right here.
Okay.
Which
that's
is
not bad.
which is still great. And my upper cabinets are 1,000 watts a piece.
guys over here.
Yeah. But if I do bigger shows, I need more volume. So the
little
new subs are
That's a
3,500
tip,
watts,
Yeah.
and the uppers are 15 apiece, and I
Except
got
for
2 on either side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a decent little studio
Oh
section.
yeah, real nice, and they're a lot lighter and easier to carry
Easier to
around.
maneuver. So you have a motorcycle, I have a motorcycle, and Kel has a motorcycle. So we all have phone mounts.
Yeah.
I stopped doing phone mounts because I couldn't find a good one. And every one I had, my phone would fly out.
Okay,
I'd have
that
to
was
buy a
on
new
you.
phone.
Right.
No, that was you.
Is that even good now? But there was the phone mount that, like, Scouters had one, Torx had it. Like,
Right.
a bunch of different people have had decent phone mounts, and I was just like, I don't trust it. And
Yeah.
the only reason I get
Abusing
into
my
this
dog.
is because Celt has a grape session about one of them.
Right.
Fuck quad lock.
So
Fucking
what phone
piece of
mount do you
shit.
have on your bike?
I have a cheap Amazon phone mount that has the little rubber things that come over and hook on the corners. But I don't use it anymore for the simple fact that if I do go down,
Your
My-
phone's gone.
my phone and my bike are over there and I'm over there.
But your watch is on your wrist.
Yes, my watch is on my wrist, but how many, and I've done the research on it. You got more of a chance because your
To break
wrist
your
and your
own, yeah.
hands break when you go to protect your fall. Your watch is probably going to get torn up.
Do you not wear any protective gear when you ride?
What are you talking about? I wear gloves and a helmet.
Yes.
Well,
And
I
if
wear
you're-
a
and
full
if you're
face
wearing
helmet.
the right gloves, they should cover your watch.
If I'm on the highway, like coming up here, I'll put on my full face helmet.
I'll always wear gloves.
If I'm around town, I've been wearing that
Showy
that
or-
yeah,
that helmet
that
that you,
Mike's lids.
yeah, Mike's lids.
Okay.
It looks like a baseball cap,
Yeah.
but it's more for novelty than it is anything. Because if I hit the ground, I'm
I
done.
didn't expect you to kiss me.
But I've been riding for
hey, I've got the thumbnail.
35. I've been riding for like 38 years now. So when I'm on the bike,
Oh,
yes,
crap.
I do stupid stuff that I shouldn't be doing, but I'm always aware of what's around me. I've been hit too many times
You know, I do more stupid shit now that I'm out of a club than I ever did when I was in the club.
I tell you what now, you go look at my bike, and I know they're frowned upon in Texas and stuff, but my radar detector's on my front,
They're frowned upon. It's not against the law,
I'm just saying you gotta catch
like
me.
it is in Virginia.
Yeah, it's real easy for me to go, it's off.
If you cross the state lines into Virginia with a radar detector on,
Yeah.
they actually have radar detectors in
Right.
police cars in Virginia,
Right.
and they will stop you and pull you
They have
over and give you a
spoofers
ticket
now.
for having.
Yeah.
I had a spoofer in my Mini Cooper. Cops it was a scrambler. So
Yeah.
anytime they tried to scan you, it would just scramble it. So it'd show like 300 miles an hour
What are you
down
doing
to
in
like
the-
2. And it would just scramble any numbers in between.
Nice.
So I could never get a real number. That's illegal in Texas.
Yeah, those are.
But a radar detector letting you know that somebody's
No,
out
those
there.
are actually still illegal in Texas. They can write you a ticket for it.
Really?
Yep.
I've
Yeah.
never been given a ticket for that.
Because they don't want to go to court over a device that you can prove isn't in your car anymore.
Right.
It would be a fix-it ticket because you would have to prove it's in your car. And it's not worth their time.
I mean, they've got body cams now that they can prove because
It's-
the body cam.
but
can
it's not
record it.
worth their time. A lot of cops won't write a ticket unless they have you dead to rights on something.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like there was every ride on the way home, I see someone freaking texting and driving.
Did you see the guy that got arrested today?
Get him. Yeah.
He was doing 150 on the highways in Colorado, resides in Texas, in Denton County, and he was arrested in Texas, waiting extradition to Colorado for doing 150 while
Yes,
recording
I
his
did read
speed.
about this a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
That is crazy.
All right.
I mean, if you're
Eh.
dumb enough to record yourself to do that speed,
It's
then-
because he recorded himself. Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah,
Right.
you know,
I
I know,
record-
I know this is the TikTok generation, but stop recording yourselves doing all the dumb shit.
Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. If you want to ignore the warning labels and you want to do like the Tide Pod challenge or the cinnamon challenge, or you know what, cool. Now we have proof that you probably should never breed.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Take off the warning labels and let Darwinism win.
That's why
process
abortion should be
process of
allowed
elimination works so much faster.
We got
that
world
way.
hunger. Oh, look, our population has gone down too.
Hey, look, if we allow abortion again, then we get rid of the meth heads and we get rid of the
No,
dumbasses.
you don't, because
No,
they're
you
going to
don't.
the foster care.
You don't.
no.
You
And the
don't.
foster care is just as fucked. We've talked about
You
this
don't,
before.
and we're paying for that just as much.
Yep.
Um,
But let's jump into a light topic. So we all have different things we're doing. I have my visual arts that I'm doing business wise. We have
Yeah.
a couple different YouTube channels together. Celt, you're working on your Instagram, social media stuff,
Yep.
and you were
TF
saying
Celt.
something about speakers.
Yeah,
DJ?
you're doing
DJ.
DJ work.
yeah, I've honestly been DJing since I was about 14.
What got you into it? 'Cause
So-
14's a long time ago.
Yeah,
but,
it is a long time ago.
But in today's time, technology, that's
Is that
ages.
1967?
Wow.
70.
Man, I was born in 76, okay? I'm old, but I'm not that
I
old.
think you're younger than my dad.
I'm
You-
just below your
You're
dad.
younger than my mom.
My mom
Yeah.
just turned 50 this year.
Yeah. I'm
Spade turns
47, I
50 this
turned
year.
48
You're
this
catching
year.
up on my dad,
dad's
though.
71
Yeah.
though. You're still younger than my dad.
Now,
But what got you into it?
what got me into it? My dad played on the road, played drums
Because 14 would
in a
put
country
you
band for
80s, so we're talking disco time frame, or
Um,
just after disco.
just after disco.
Okay, so find a bunch of secondhand stuff.
Yeah. So actually, what started it? Dad played on the road in a country band for years. Dad played drums in the band. When the band broke up, Dad bought the speakers from them,
The equipment. and
the
all that.
equipment and all that, and started DJing. So my dad started DJing in bars, and my mom and dad actually owned a pool hall.
Just
Yeah.
for back change here and there.
Pearl,
Just
come here.
Yeah.
fun money.
They're
Yeah,
not gonna
fun
come
money.
to the
That's
door.
all it was. And so my dad DJ'd like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights in a bar.
Okay.
And then he did private stuff, weddings
Come on.
and private parties and stuff.
Come on,
So dad started teaching me, that way.
The
Started,
ins and outs.
come on.
yeah, the ins and outs. And back then, it was just
Come on,
albums.
Get up here.
Okay.
We didn't have CDs in.
Yeah, it was 8 tracks and
We just used albums and 45s.
Okay.
We'd go down to the local music store.
45s are the old things that you put on vinyl.
They're the
and-
singles.
Yeah.
They're the singles, the little ones. But started DJing with those, and then CDs came out. Well, CD players for DJing
Made it easier.
were like $1,200.
Oh,
They were
shit.
expensive. But we actually went to Sam's Club and bought the home
In
CD
bulk.
player, the home CD player, single disc CD player. We bought 2 of those. And
So you're pulling off tracks from different things.
yeah, so we started buying CDs and started, we still had our
Fucking
album.
DJ Jazzy Jeff over here.
Yeah.
I know. I'm over here thinking it's like the coolest thing I did related to that was wait for the radio to come on so I can do a ringtone on my
Yeah.
little Nokia phone.
So even
Fucking
back then,
recording music on my tapes.
Yep.
I mean, you had
walking around with the 8-track player. And,
so back then you had Run DMC and all these guys that have
Yeah.
albums that are actually scratching and doing all this crazy stuff. Well,
I gotta find my Run DMC shirt. It's a
you
tank
had to
top.
buy the correct needles to do that with,
I didn't know that.
or if you used a regular needle,
It would scratch up the record.
it would
and you
scratch up
mess
the
it
record.
Oh,
you'd
this
break
is talking about ripping it.
yeah, scratching
Okay.
and stuff. So Dad had techniques. Dad had the 1200 techniques.
Heck yeah.
They were the good stuff, and so I literally started saving up and bought the good needles for it.
Were you
and I
doing the
started
little
scratching-
discs or the big discs?
Huh?
Were you doing the little
45
records or the
12
big
inch.
ones? Okay.
Yeah,
12
12
yeah,
inch.
So
full
So
albums.
that's where you started.
That's where I
And
started.
Over time, you've acquired more stuff, learned different techniques, and now you're at where you're at now.
Yeah.
You
Now,
and your wife are doing this company, if I remember.
well, my wife's there supporting
She's-
for me.
She's sponsoring.
Yeah.
As a wife should.
Yeah.
A wife should always support and sponsor the best they can.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. 100%. And so now, and it's even still new for me, is all the new technology. So I'm actually using a laptop.
Because you
With the
you
program-
started in the 80s, and now we're in
Yeah. So
everything's on a
I still
laptop.
scratch now, and I'm using it's a digital console that has
And it has the
motorized-
digital-
Motorized
digital-
rotors.
Yeah.
and you don't
the
have to care
turn
about
on it.
needles anymore.
no needles
Because
at
it
all.
just
Yeah, I can just sit there and scratch, use my crossfader and do what I do, and then
So you're merging the old school techniques
new.
with the new technology.
Yeah.
Yes.
and nowadays, so you'll see DJs and even for us DJs now, we're in jeopardy because now AI's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no, and I'll stop you on AI only because AI can't make a hand. Anakin,
No.
stop.
No,
AI can't make a hand. It can't make a proper face. It
right.
can't do anything other than symmetrical.
Right. But in programming wise, it can tell you, let's say you're doing a wedding and the customer and the clients want this music, right? AI can come in and make a playlist off of those songs.
Correct. And what it does is, from my understanding of it, and correct me if I'm wrong,
I think you're right.
it pulls from different sections on the internet
Yeah.
of stuff that's already made.
Right.
So it's not that AI is making it. AI is pulling from this spectrum of different things.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll ever replace completely.
And it's not just doing that. There's a randomization factor that's programmed into
Correct.
it
Yeah.
in order to allow for it to be more fluid, supposedly,
Right.
right? But that's a
Supposedly.
programmed fluidity.
For somebody that doesn't do this all the time.
I think for someone inexperienced,
Yeah.
it will bother them.
Right.
But someone that's been around since the 80s doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Then
So like for me, when I give clients my price, what it's going
Right.
to cost me to do a 5-hour wedding gig and stuff, I'm not
you
way
give
up
them the
there.
quote. Yeah.
I'm not way up there. I'm not. There's some guys that are making $3,000-$4,000 doing this.
Well, we look at EDM. They're
You know.
making millions of
Yeah.
dollars doing a concert for
I'm-
hundreds and thousands of
I'm
people.
anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 for a 6-hour wedding.
I mean,
there's a
that's
lot that goes
reasonable,
into
yeah.
it. Your
Your equipment costs in a way.
you're
Your time
bringing-
spent.
you're announcing them. You're doing
Yep.
things within scheduling. So in that aspect. Holy cow! The
I
Han,
thought he was gonna burn his head.
the Han Solo torch here.
It's
We-
like, hold on.
yeah, that just,
All I got is Godzilla.
That
the
just-
90s movies. Godzilla.
yeah.
I lit my cigar.
The
It's all
funny
good.
thing is it made all of us freeze to look at you.
My
know.
ADHD was like, I like this conversation. Pause, but the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
So like for me, DJing in my dining room right now is my DJ.
Your
you know,
setup.
my setup. I don't need the main speakers. I got just a monitor. But my setup,
So you can test and play around and
there's new music coming out left and right, and I sit there and I work on my scratches and
Do you play
and
Taylor Swift?
do what?
Do you play Taylor Swift?
play
or you
whatever
retract
pays.
it?
And play what pays, bro.
You know, and I'll put it that way. I'll pay what plays. There's some artists I don't really like to play a lot.
But if
Because
the customer's like, look,
I want
this.
Taylor Swift, then guess what? They're getting Taylor Swift.
If you're paying my quote,
6,000 breakup songs.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you want me,
Woo,
I'm in
that's
his
an-
opinion. If
that's
you
an-
want me to scratch or whatever,
Yeah,
you're paying me. Let's.
you know, and so I'm working on my trade at least 2, 3 to 4 days out of the week.
That's awesome.
I'm over there, got my headphones on, so I'm not disturbing my wife, or she'll go upstairs and I'll put it on my monitor, and I'm just sitting
With
there.
the lights and all that, so you're not. Sometimes.
Sometimes I have the lights on, and the
'Cause you wanna
reason
practice like you play.
is because the reason is with the lights, each one of my songs is programmed for the lights. So as I slide the
'Cause
crossfader
you
over
throw
to
it
the
through your
next song,
program.
right?
Okay.
So when I slide over for the next song, the lights automatically change.
To
To
the next
that
song.
song.
Okay.
It works off my controller. It's all digital now. Dad and I were talking about it last weekend. We were
I'll know where my phone
laughing.
is.
Sit down, Cabo.
We were
Sorry.
laughing. We built our own lights back then. We had actual red, green, and yellow floodlights
The old RGB
off
lights.
of push switches.
Off pedals.
Off
Off
of
drumming
Pearl.
pedals.
Yeah. When we were DJing, we'd literally sit here and just stomp to change the colors during the shows. You know, now they got computer programs that run everything for you.
This is a little for you.
Damn it. Wasn't fast enough. Fuck.
Whoa. But we need to talk about this. Because,
I want to talk
Warrant
about
officers.
No,
Quadlock
no.
versus fucking Rock Form.
no, I want to
Yeah,
talk
some pretty
about
cool
how
glasses.
the Air Force is going to be bringing back warrant officers to the Air Force.
And they stopped this 60 years ago because they were afraid of warrant officers.
Taking over and overthrowing officers.
And we are live.
Warrant
No, we're
officers can't
definitely
do that,
live.
though.
Yeah.
Do what?
Warrant officers don't
It doesn't
have that.
matter. Air Force had a fear 60 years ago because they were afraid because
Pilots.
pilots and other good warrant officers had the troops around them as a proper warrant should. You should have your good technical people going to you for technical advice.
Yep.
But they were afraid that they were going to be overran because there's more trust with the warrants because they did shit.
Right.
And now we
Yeah,
have
because
this.
warrants
Well,
work.
But the issue in the Air Force now is we have this officer corps that
They've defanged and declawed their NCO corps. So their NCO corps are just paperwork monkeys because they're not allowed to punish
everyone's
anyone.
a desk jockey the moment you hit a E5. You're not doing shit.
That and even when airmen are coming in, they're like, "Well, you need to be teaching them leadership," and it's like
They just got here.
they don't know how to follow
They're
yet.
supposed to take out the trash, do the dirty work, and learn their fucking job. Don't give them more shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's like prospecting. They're only going to do what
Well,
you...
but that's the thing is like this is the entry. But yeah, no, this is what happens when you have an entire branch formed by pilots, and they get this pilot focus. But they're not just bringing back one officers.
but we
one of
started with Army pilots.
One of my coworkers brought in the fact that they're taking the ability for base commanders to be in charge of combat command away from them.
Yeah.
Base commanders will no longer be in charge of combat command. So, hey, the people who are supposed to be a support element will maybe be staffed by officers who know how to act like a support element.
I mean, we have our own shit in the Army, too. We hear about. It's like, oh, we're changing our PT shit again. It was like,
Don't
look,
get me
okay,
started on the fucking
calm
PT
down.
shit, bro.
because they redid the shit, and props to the generals that did this. They're like, we're changing it. All of the Army was like, were buying good equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and they spent millions of dollars on good equipment. And then they're like, all right, we're changing back to what it was before.
Yeah.
And you know what? Props, because everybody hated the change. But the reason they did it is so they could get good equipment in the gyms, good equipment here, and props to them. Everything was new, brand new, spanky nice.
Yeah.
And it's like, heck yeah. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're jumping back. Everybody fucking praised it. And all the old school guys were like, I see what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You changed the rec.
Yeah.
So that way we could get new shit because we've been asking for this for 10 plus years.
Right.
So you changed the hierarchy of it. And it was there for about 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, and we're reverting back.
And now it's back to the old way, but now everyone has new PT gear and new PT equipment so that they can actually do good
Train.
PT again.
And they change your guys' PT gear to this nice, it's not Gore-Tex, it's not the sound of freedom, which, you know what, props, because I hate that sound, but it's
I hate
actually stuff that keeps you warm.
Right.
The inside lining actually keeps you warm. So when your E9 or your commander is like, nah, fuck it, we're wearing shorts. In the
Yeah,
middle of
no.
winter,
I know it's 37 degrees outside, but,
but
we're going to be
I
wearing
can't
shorts.
find my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pearl.
Yeah, she's fine.
So props to the Army for
Well,
doing
you
what's
can-
best for their people.
You can ask new guys now what
Come
it
on.
means to be smoked, and
Come
they
on.
don't understand.
Come on. Come on.
Well, shoot.
Over here.
Air Force has this. Air Force and Army now both have a safe space. in basic
Don't
training.
get me started.
Well, I got out when the Army had guys coming out of basic training with stress cards.
Oh, well, that was a minute.
Navy did the same thing with stress cards in boot camp.
You know, and all you're doing is putting your thumb on a mood ring.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, look, man, when you get into combat, are they? Hold on, I need to pause for my stress card turned red.
I'm upset. No, fuck him. No, suck it
Yeah.
up, Buttercup.
Yep,
I
suck
think
it up.
I'm actually of the opinion that we need to bring back 1%, no, 0.01% acceptable fatality rates.
Explain. Go more into
Yeah,
detail.
yeah. I'm
so
intrigued.
when you put the fear of potential injury or fatality as an acceptable measure, people will take training far more seriously.
Okay, so I understand to a point. Air
Yes.
Force used to have live round shooting for certain drills,
So did Navy.
and Navy did. Every branch actually started this way,
Where
and
they would
even
shoot over barbed wire when you're crawling under the barbed wire.
and I give them props because every single one was a tracer round once tracer rounds became big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that way you could see them, but you still knew if I stand up, I'm dying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And to note,
and you
I
still
think the
had some,
highest- go
still had some that did it.
and our number was 3% across all the armed forces.
And if you stand up in the middle of live fire,
Well,
then
your
I
dumbass
didn't want
deserves
you
to die.
downrange with me anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. So, this goes into, there was a shooting, quote unquote. So, cop shows up. This is on Reddit.
Oh, you're talking about the acorn
The
shit,
acorn.
bro.
So, there was a cop that showed up. There was a dispute between boyfriend and girlfriend. Regardless of what the dispute is, dude's detained in the back of the car. Combat vet. He served 2 tours. Regardless of what he served with, he was an officer attached to a special forces unit. So either realistically, he was probably a desk jockey they're working with, but he was still deployed for 2 tours over there. So he's heard mortars hitting the bit. He's heard some stuff. Realistically,
Yeah.
At every base has at least been attacked once.
Yeah.
So he's heard something. An acorn hit the top of his patrol car. So he went with 2 officers, him and his supervisor. Supervisor's there dealing with the girlfriend. Dude's detained in the back, handcuffed. And yes, there was a possibility of him having a silencer on his. Now, anyone who understands a suppressor, not a
Yes.
silencer, they
Not
said
a silencer. This isn't
but
the
a
movies.
suppressor.
This isn't Hollywood.
a cold suppressor will not sound any different than a normal gun the first time. Now, when it starts getting warm, it will muffle the decibels that are coming off of it. So, dude's detained in the back. Cop supposedly heard, he's resigned since this point, but he supposedly heard gunshots. I don't know about you, but if an acorn hits the top of my car, that does not sound anything like
Never
I've
has
heard
sounded like a
downrange.
gunshot.
not
I
even
don't know.
suppressed.
I don't know where this man's headspace was at, but he wasn't in a good place if he's hearing an acorn and he's getting fucking triggered
And starts firing.
and
It-
starts firing.
I love the news because they're so fucking dense. He was like, the female that covered it and the male that covered it, they were like, he unloaded the whole clip. And you look at the video, he did unload his whole
Magazine.
clip, his whole magazine. He unloaded every single round into the back of the car. And his supporting unit, his supervisor, all she saw was an officer down. He went over the mic saying, "I've been shot."
Yeah.
Because
He literally said, "I've been shot."
he said,
Oh yeah, no,
I've
literally.
been shot.
Fucking moron.
He stumbles multiple times on his body cam footage because all this is available to the public, Freedom of Information Act, and he's hitting the ground, rumble, and pulls out his sidearm and unloads everything in the back of his car. His supervisor comes out, sees he's shooting at the car, does the same thing because immediate thought.
I'm
and
not
props
giving the
to her,
I'm not giving the supervisor shit.
because let's be real. If I come into a situation and I see a cop or I see one of my buddies laying hate into an object,
That my reaction
My
is going
reaction
to be
is-
to
I'm saving him, and there's something in here I need to
Be
stop.
afraid of,
destroy.
yeah. Yeah.
it's not going to survive.
Not a single round hit the person.
Well,
Are you serious?
I mean-
No, there was it was
Holy fuck!
there was
that
20,
lucky bastard.
28, I
For
think, is what
real?
the count was. 28 rounds put into this
Backseat.
police patrol car. Not a single round hit the person. So you know what? Props, because it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But I know they're not heavily armored. They're not armored at all. But hold on, we're shooting a whole gun's worth of ammo into a car.
Into a car.
2 guns worth.
Oh, exactly, 2 guns worth, and we're expecting.
I mean,
to
I'd
not-
expect the motherfucker to be dead.
I'd expect a shot, and it was like, because my training was like, hide behind the engine in the front wheel well. Hide there, because bullets will go through everywhere else.
And don't stumble and fall in the middle of the street and start shooting from your side.
On the ground,
On the ground.
prone, on your back, shooting one hand, gangster style. Like,
Kiss it. Oh!
2 thumbnails.
I just couldn't do it.
Here, Spade.
Spade. Moderately uncomfortable.
But
Hold on, I got this.
this, and the funniest part, it was Florida. It's no longer Florida man on drug. It's Florida cop.
man.
Florida cop now.
Yeah.
It's like,
With Acorn.
because you can 100% type in your birthday and type Florida, and something will come up. And I think mine's like, man robs convenience store with a gator.
Hell
I
yeah.
was like, I don't know what to say. My little brother he robbed a bank with a Lego gun.
I've not done this.
A
I'm
spray
gonna do
painted
this
Lego
right now.
gun.
I'm
Like,
gonna do
seriously,
this.
too.
type your date of birth and type Florida, and something will pop up. Florida has always been the fucking wild card.
Yeah.
And it's crazy now that cops are jumping into this. Yes, I understand he felt like he was being attacked.
Yeah.
I can understand his feelings and what it feels like to be shot at. But an
Hold
acorn
on.
sounds 100% different than a gunshot. Even a
Oh,
cold
oh,
gun.
Hold on,
100%.
I got a good one.
Here we go. There's probably a couple.
South Florida man on LSD charged with tackling Disney World guard.
Wow.
Holy shit, bro.
Like, this is
that's a fucking roller coaster of a title.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got multiple.
on.
Give me the first one. Top.
Top.
Just the
Okay,
top,
top one is shirtless Florida man travels to Myrtle Beach to headbang during Hurricane Florence.
Oh,
Oh, it's the dude with the
God.
flag. I know who he is. Yep.
Yeah.
The second one is Florida man Jesse Smith. We'll bleep that out.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. It's
Steals
news.
excavator and crashes into Walmart. How do you
Talk-
crash
talking
into
about
Walmart
excavators.
with an
Have
excavator?
you seen the amount of society right now that is building the reinforced bulldozers?
Oh yeah. It's Mad Max coming through.
They're so fucking fed up with whatever local or state government or federal government. they're building reinforced. Like, this is all over the internet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ever since that one bulldozer guy
The one dude,
back in like the 90s,
No.
right?
No,
Was it- it was
recently a guy at
2010s.
Home Depot with a
No,
bobcat.
no, I'm talking about the original guy
so
who had like CCTV, like old CCTV fucking video camera set
I know
up.
the one that was in the news was 2010s. He built a bulldozer. He had a bulldozer and he reinforced it and he ran over the bank because they're going to foreclose on his house.
Mhm.
And
a
nothing
smart
could
man.
stop it. He had a kill switch
Yeah.
to kill
the
himself.
killdozer.
Yep, the killdozer. And he just destroyed the. And you know what? Props to him. He didn't destroy anything other than the bank.
No, he did. Killdozer destroyed multiple
He
properties.
destroyed state and he destroyed bank, but he didn't destroy personal properties. He didn't have anything against the people. He had an issue about the government.
Do y'all remember the
And somebody just recently bought Killdozer.
It was for sale.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you-
for sale.
Do y'all remember the guy who stole the Abrams?
Yes.
Which Abrams? Because there've been
The original one during like
the 60s. That one?
No,
No.
no. This was like during the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a couple stolen in the 60s.
Because this guy was like driving up and down the highways and shit, and like,
Oh yes.
and the only way he got stuck like on the median.
That's the only thing that stopped.
Yeah, like nothing stopped. He's going through houses and like all sorts of shit.
There was a guy couple weeks ago that with a bobcat at Home Depot parking lot was
well, I saw that.
was bulldozing cop cars out of his
Yep.
way and was just having a good old time with a bobcat. Yeah, things are escalating.
Things are escalating. I mean, we're at a point now that the last time a presidential candidate was taken off the ballot was Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And
I
shortly
saw
after
that this week.
oh, well, I didn't know it's being broadcasted, but it also happened that shortly after there was a civil war.
Yep.
Okay, well, we've been in a racial divide that we created, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We created this racial divide. Like, we just had the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he didn't wear the glove on his left hand that was white for Michael Jackson. It went
Yes.
it went back to African Americans were there to serve at the church and they had to wear gloves,
Black
white
gloves.
white gloves.
White.
They wore white gloves because they didn't trust black members of the same church to properly confiscate the money for the tithe. So he wore that, and I understand black people as a populace feel
You mean
neglected.
confiscate or collect?
Collect,
6 of one, half dozen
confiscate.
of another,
It's
brother.
realistically,
Confiscate's different.
realistically, if I am a tithing member of a church and I give my money here, they're confiscating, they're collecting.
He's right actually though. Collecting.
But if they're doing wrong for it and I know, I'm in the wrong.
Absolutely.
If they're doing right for it and I'm still giving, then I'm in the right. Now, if I know they're doing wrong, then I won't tithe to them and I won't attend that church.
right.
You're right. The proper word is collecting. But what's being pushed around is confiscate. Because the church is stealing money.
A
So
lot of churches
we as a society.
Define a lot because you're using an absolute.
Yes.
At least, well, that's not an absolute.
No,
A
no, no.
lot
Back.
is-
You gotta back it up with some factual.
We're at about
Numbered
43% of churches. I know because I looked this up after talking to a member at work who is black, who is a pastor. And we talked about the whole tithing scandal and all these issues.
Cabo. Stop.
43%, because he looked it up on his computer.
Anakin.
43% of churches are using it for the wrong purposes, or they're using it to line their pockets. And most members don't know.
Cabo. He's
If the
not
church
playing.
is not willing to open their books and show you what they're spending their money on, soapbox over. But we are in a racial divide. We're jumping back to the 60s, back to the 1800s, back to a part of, oh, we're separate. We're not equal. We are separate. And
And I am sorry, and I actually did want to bring this up on the podcast, but I am tired of the motherfuckers who are like, "Oh, well, we need the blood of the bird,
blood of the white man, blood of the black man, blood of the Asian,
we need
blood
the
of...
blood to clean up the." And I'm like, bro, I do not want a civil war. I do not want a world war. I do not want a war.
Well, what's
I
funny,
do not want blood.
I agree with Romans in a way. we can talk this situation alone. We can talk and fix this issue because this issue isn't the people. The issue is the government.
Mhm.
And you know what? All of us at one point
And the
signed
people-
a blank fucking check of I'm going to serve the Constitution.
And the
support
people
and
who
defend it.
are going to pay will not be Biden, will not be Trump, will not be any of these politicians. The people will be paying will be
us.
or people's sons and daughters, people
Well,
who are younger than us.
Look at Trump when he was in. He had a tax hike. There was a tax addition.
Yeah.
Now, when Biden came over, he did another tax addition. Well, let's back up. Obama did one. Before that, Bush did one. We had every president going back to JFK has done a tax hike to either line pockets, support wars that aren't here, support, I don't know, other people supporting what I want to support. It's
And I'm honestly, I'm sick of supporting foreign wars.
Absolutely.
Like, I am
Yeah.
sick and tired of us supporting foreign wars.
We
I
touched
do
on
not
this.
want us to be a isolationist country again. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
It
No,
does
it
not work. We tried to do that before. That doesn't work for us.
look,
okay.
we have pulled out from Afghanistan, and a bunch of veterans are dealing with that bullshit.
Oof.
Yeah.
We talked about that on podcast.
Well, we also talked about the $200 billion or whatever it was that was sent to Ukraine.
The $20 billion.
$20
Yeah.
billion.
$20 billion.
And how if we spent that money in America, we would fix homelessness and the hunger issue.
Well, since you
Well,
want
I-
to jump
I
down
wanna-
this,
I
I
want-
will agree to disagree.
I'm going to agree to disagree because there is no fix to homelessness.
Correct.
There
Because
will
there
always
is-
be a homeless population.
Mm-hmm.
And the government cannot support homelessness. Homelessness and the corrective actions for it need to be supported by the public. If the public and if the culture at large wants to help the homeless population, that will work. But anytime you get the government involved in something, everyone is too busy taking a piece of it that it never makes it down.
And there is a
Well,
go ahead.
The
And-
other
and
portion
there's-
of that.
There's a percentage of your homeless
That
community
want to be.
that want to
Yep,
be that
that's
way,
where I was gonna
Absolutely.
go.
and that
agree
will
with that.
always be that way.
In New York, I think it was 13%. There was statistics done by some college. I think it was
Right.
Harvard or Cornell.
Yeah.
That did it specifically on New York.
Mhm.
Every single one they talked to, a minority, I think it was 13-14%. You can look it up. I'll try to find the study and send it to you guys if you guys want it. It was a small number. It was less than 20%. I know that for sure. That wanted to be homeless.
Mhm.
Now they're living in old abandoned sewers, old abandoned aqueducts. They're
squatting and abandoned
squatting
buildings.
wherever, and they have their squatters' rights there. But they are living there willingly because they don't want to be taxed on a house they own.
Yeah.
There was in that group, there was 2 people that still make $1 million a year that were willingly homeless.
Mhm.
So that way they didn't have to pay tax. They had a 9-to-5 job where they're the CEO,
Yeah,
they're
I'm,
CFO, but
I'm-
they were willingly homeless, so they didn't have to pay taxes on a house or utilities on a house that they own outright.
yeah, I'm sorry. I can understand paying utilities fed from the city because okay, you're.
But if I have my well,
If I've got my well,
if I have my solar
if I've
panels,
got my solar panels, if I have paid off my home,
Yeah.
I should not be paying taxes. You can fuck off with that bullshit.
Right.
And I
Well-
could say this because I've got a grandma who's struggling with this right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
She's
So-
struggling to pay her taxes.
So that
Yeah.
brings up
she's going to be 90 years old here in a month or so.
that brings up the
Mike.
slavery topic again, because in reality we are paying over. Okay, so in Texas, because we don't have a state tax,
we're not
I think
slaves. We are in servitude to,
To-
someone that provides this.
Yes.
I think if you
Yes.
do
the entire how many? Think about it. You pay taxes on your groceries. You pay taxes
And
on
the
your
only
gas.
reason
You pay
I'm
taxes
using
on tobacco,
verbiage on this
alcohol.
is because you correct me and you were right. We are in
Servitude.
to our utilities. Why? Because they service us and we pay them for the service they provide us. So we are giving
Right.
them money. So
But
we have
that's
servitude.
taxed.
You're right. And all these things are taxed to provide what? Because And Ed
more
was on here,
more
and,
service.
and we talked about this. Me
But
and you
it's
and
over
Ed.
50% of our income is going to tax.
But look, no, it's not 50%.
It is at least 50%.
No, you don't hit the next tax bracket of the 50% until you hit $400,000.
I'm not talking
But
about federal
We're not
tax.
talking about.
I'm
We're talking about
your gas.
all the taxes.
All
I'm
the
talking about
taxes
you have
is
to pay
about
tax-
12%, and we talked.
I disagree.
About, okay,
Because you pay 20,
I'm gonna
in the state
say-
of Texas, you pay 26%
I disagree on that.
and then you pay 12% tax on gas. You pay 8.25% on all your groceries. You pay 8.25% on anything you purchase.
8.25.
Okay, hold on,
percent
let him
state,
say it.
Yeah.
So, okay, if you look in the 60s, right?
Mhm.
The average income for that time, right?
$40,000 was rich.
$40,000 was rich, right? But you could buy an automobile for how much?
$5,000
$5,000. Okay.
for
You-
a bougie.
for a bougie car. So back in the 60s, you could buy your house, buy your car,
4-bedroom house,
4-bedroom
2-bathroom,
house, have your
2
kids,
cars.
have your kids, and provide for your family,
Yep.
and still had money left over
For them to
Right.
go to college.
for them to go to college to do things.
Mhm.
Then over the years, the tax keeps getting higher and higher.
Right.
Now the cost of goods goes up. Everything has gone up to the point to like now.
Inflation
So
isn't matching
just me,
cost of
if
living.
I wasn't married, just me alone, okay? My mortgage would be, in today's day, if I went and bought a house, it cost me $2,000 a month, right?
Yep. At least.
$2,000. I go buy a vehicle that costs just as much as my house
Yep.
costs,
Yeah.
and I'm paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month for a new vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
plus the insurance, food, utilities, and everything. $57,000. I can't live on my own right
No. No. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say right now, because I have a $900 car payment, $300 in auto insurance,
Right.
$300 a month motorcycle payment, which is, you could say that's
That's
an
a luxury.
elective
That's a
luxury.
Well, and I want to
But if
bring.
I wanted to go buy a freaking house right now, because I'm on my limited income of just what the VA provides, I can't buy a house because I can't afford it.
Right.
And I wanted to bring up the fact that there's a lot of conservatives, and my parents are part of this, who are like, well, they're purchasing nothing but luxury goods all the time, and that's why no one can afford anything. And I'm going to disagree on that.
I would.
disagree.
I disagree because they are not spending enough on luxury goods to compensate for how much they're getting eaten up by everything else.
I could see that. You know what?
No.
I back up. No, I agree. I do think that is right. I mean, I still stand on that. We
Now,
should
I certainly
change
think
our tax bracket rating. I do think
Well-
taxes are still valid, especially on roads, on railroads, on there are
How
certain
about-
things we need for
how about
public
this?
transportation.
How about this? I absolutely agree that taxes are valid.
To a
we
point.
need to do
To a point,
we need to do a flat tax.
And
we need to
that's
do
why I
away
wanted
with the
to go into.
IRS.
Yep.
And how about this? How about we have a
'Cause
fucking
IRS
budget?
Hold on.
IRS
How about we
was-
have a real fucking budget?
Why the fuck
IRS
does
was a-
IRS have guns?
Well, they
Why
were
do we have
originally.
special agent IRS agents
Why
with
are
guns?
they going to homes, knocking on doors, armed?
Well,
Why?
and here's the other thing.
No
They
breach
were
knocks, by the
originally-
way.
They were
Yep.
originally formed just to investigate tax fraud. That's it.
And that didn't
So-
start till Capone time frame.
So, and here's the thing you can do, and I've seen several people do it, and I have done the research on it, and there's pros and cons to it.
We need a bouquet prom.
So,
president
you know,
here.
you can actually go down, fill out the paperwork, and never pay taxes again.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Now,
It started in the 20s when taxes first became
Right.
relevant.
Where
Now-
do you go fill this paperwork
now,
out?
but there is
Here's
downfall.
the catch.
There is downfall to it. Your Social Security gone,
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not
have
going to
Social
see that
Security, period.
anyways.
and
Social
that's
It's
Security
not
denied
just
me.
social. It's
Yes.
any public infrastructure you are no longer able to use.
able to use,
You
Right.
are no longer a part of the public infrastructure.
which is your IRA, 401k, all that.
Your
Whoa,
banking.
whoa. 401k and bank, those are not federally owned property.
But they're
But they're
backed
federally
by
Public
insured.
structured.
anything
Under-
public
you
structure.
mother.
You're not allowed to use anything public. Banking, gas stations, public roads. If you choose this route that he's talking about, you can't use anything public. Anything that taxes are used for. You
Yeah.
can't use public roads.
Right.
And if you're caught on a public road, you owe back taxes.
for that use.
Yep.
That's fucked.
It is about time.
Cut
So-
cut the rest of this to offline.
Yeah, this is name pending.
This has been name pending, guys.
Throw a comment down below. I'll
Fuck
respond.
that like button, just hard.
Tickle that subscribe.
And you know what? We're just chilling. We're gonna hold the rest of this offline.
Yeah, do some catch up with Spade.
Yeah,
And
it's
Fuck
been a
quad
minute.
lock.
And he's
Still on this.
but
Go
it's been fun
Rock.
hanging with you guys. We're gonna bounce up this way and that way, and deuces.